Hey, it's Bo. This is my first video, and it's about my golf cart experiences. Now, I own a golf cart, and sometimes I happen to drive recklessly because I am a middle schooler. So, what happened, what happened some time ago was I was driving on the sidewalk, and this lady stopped me and she said, "You need to drive on the road because if you drive on the sidewalk, you might hit someone and you get sued. You get effing sued. They'll sue the crap out of you." And I just said, "What if it's a hit and run?" And then I left. I was feeling particularly brave because I had friends in the car, and this woman was, I found it funny. But later that evening, the story doesn't stop, because later that day, I was driving on the sidewalk, and this man, who I thought was someone from my ward, pulls out his phone and takes a picture of me. Since I thought it was Brother Ryan Hart, someone cool from my ward, I posed in the golf cart, and he took a picture of me, and he put his camera down and he flipped me off, and that's when I'm like, that is not Brother Ryan Hart. And that was one experience. Another experience was actually today, where I was driving kind of recklessly, but then I stopped and I was driving fine. Someone was behind me, so I pulled over and let them pass me, and I pulled back in, and my song had just stopped, so I took out my phone and then showed it to Nash for him to pick a new song, and the guy pulled me over and he was like, you reckless driver, looking at your phone and texting." And I said, "I wasn't texting, sir, and I wasn't looking at the phone. My friend was, and I was just holding it up, and I was looking at the road." But he's like, "You were swerving all over the road," and so I almost hit him, because what happened was, when I let the car pass and then I went back in, it almost hit him, and he had someone in the car, and since my golf cart is pretty slow, we had to drive like 15 minutes back to our house. He followed us the entire way, had a talk with my mom, and that was the end of it. It was pretty funny. Side note, he threatened to call the cops if he ever saw me driving that golf cart again, so I respectably am grounded from it. Another side note. In our first adventure, we found a snail just sitting on the floor of our golf cart. So we did the reasonable thing to do, which is get a box, put dirt in it and like some leaves, and name it Booper Francois Cockbank. Booper, we named it Booper because it was me and my friends' names combined, and we named it Francois because it was just completely random, and the last name Cockbank because it was me and my other friends' names combined. So that is the story. I did end up, putting it back in the wild a day after, but for the few moments that we shared, he will forever have a place in my heart if he ever decides to return home.